All right, everybody. Once again, welcome back to the next episode of the Veteran Influencers Podcast. And as you guys know, we always have a special guest on the show that we do kind of like an interview with. So today, my guest his name is Staff Sergeant Jesus Rojas. He is an active duty Marine, and he's also a part of the MESAP program, which is like the enlisted to officer program. And he is currently a student and, like I said, active duty Marine at Arizona State University. Ever since the day that I met this particular Marine, which was about a year and a half ago, I just knew that there was something about him, his drive. He was always challenging people physically and also morally. His leadership amongst the other midshipmen, as well as his peers, was always like at this high level. I'm always seeing him interact with the different people inside of the battalion to help to make the standard better. And then I was also lucky to have him as my combat fitness leader for the battalion, where he was in charge of scheduling, planning out, coordinating all of our physical training events for the entire semester. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, my brother from another mother, Jesus Rojas.
Man, wow, what an intro. Thank you. I'm humbled, and I'm honestly very glad and privileged that you gave me the opportunity to come out here and talk about the brand Inspirational Fitness. I'm looking forward to the podcast. You know, we've been talking about it for weeks now. Super excited. I know it's going to go great. And again, thank you for having me here.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I was saying in the post, it's just like I'm picking out specific people that I know that are not only going to be like a good representation for the brand type, you know, to be able to share out and to promote, but just someone that I guess you say resonated to me, to where I knew that their leadership and their influence amongst the community was going to be instrumental. That's why I wanted to have them on. You know, I want to have people that I know personally first, you know what I'm saying, set the tone, get my people on, and, you know, we started to branch out after that. But yeah, ever since you told me that you had a desire to create your own brand, and obviously you're pretty physically fit by those little biceps, but you know, I knew that you were definitely going in the right direction. And every day that we kind of talked, I always saw you making more steps toward your goals, which is, you know, being an entrepreneur. So that's awesome.
Appreciate that, man. Yeah, I mean, it's always been a dream of mine. I love the idea of, you know, getting out to yourself and starting a business. And I mean, even in just like tackling like a dream of yours that you've always wanted, you know, and yeah, it's just amazing that it's finally coming to fruition.
Absolutely. Sometimes it kind of shows like some people start off in life to where they're like doing amazing in high school, and, you know, their progress tend to kind of like dip. But you had success prior to the Marine Corps while you were in high school, and then you continued that success to go along. So, I mean, that kind of like, I think certain type of people can kind of resonate to that as well, because like I said, some people, they didn't have that great of success prior, or some people had a lot of success prior, and then as they go along in their life, they just kind of decline. And some people incline, or some people just kind of like flatline. So it's definitely good to hear that. And I'm just glad to see how you could be successful on different levels as well. You know, going from track and, you know, maybe not placing individually, but, you know, as a team effort, still doing relatively well. So that's awesome.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. So you said that you had one person that placed in state in Yuma?
Also, he beat everybody, like blew him out of the water in Arizona, and like in general by like, yeah, I think he ran like a 4-minute 2-second mile or something like that. Which, if you know like about track, that's insane. So and yeah, he got like third or second. I think he won the Nike mile, open mile or something like that. I don't know. This guy was phenomenal individual.
4 minutes?
Yeah.
Oh, like, if that doesn't win, there's something wrong.
I was like, whew. Damn, that guy was insane.
So you saw small success come out of your school growing up in high school. So at what point did you think either I feel like I can be just as successful, or I can continue on this path of running and maybe make something out of it? or did you get to a point to where it's like, well, yeah, ain't nobody really coming out of Yuma, so I might as well start to like place my eggs somewhere else?
Right. So the thing is, like, yeah, it was honestly encouraging to see somebody like that coming out of like a small town like Yuma, because for those of us that are from there, like, you really only have like three options. Either you can stay there, go to school, community college, and transfer up here to ASU, and then come back and hopefully you have like a good career, or you stay work agriculture, or you you join the military if you qualify and stuff like that. So when I saw him succeeding and like finding a way out of Yuma, I was like, wow, like, maybe I can do the same. And another like mentor and inspiration for me to do that was my brother, because he also joined the Marine Corps, and he's 3 years older than me. So seeing him lead me into track and then kind of like open the door for like, hey, there's the Marine Corps, so you can also, expand in life and, get out of this place, kind of helped out a lot. And that's what, essentially brought me into it. I wanted to get out of that place because, I mean, even if you're stationed there for 2 to 3 years, like, there's nothing to do there. I'd say,
gotta go, son.
I mean, you were there, right?
Yeah, too many times.
There's nothing there. I mean, even now, like, they definitely added a lot of stuff, but I was there when like that whole mall area was like nothing but fields. I was like, damn, what the hell?
Facts. That's when I was going to WTI. They didn't even have that movie theater there yet. They didn't have I think Buffalo Wild Wings was new still. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
yeah. I think that was just new. They didn't have that movie theater yet, and then they just built all that stuff. I think probably my like second or third WTI or something like that. So.
Yeah, we used to joke around. You'd run into people at Walmart, and like that was a place to go to, like the new Walmart.
There's always a Walmart that's a meetup spot in small towns.
Yeah, I know. It's like, especially back when they had like the TV setup to play the video games, and you're just straining your neck the whole time.
I missed that.
That was a spot right there. So.
Yeah, it's like they only have it at Target like nowadays, but no, that's awesome. So. We're going from track, right? You're seeing one person make it out of track and pretty much blow everybody out of the water. But when did you get, like, did you actually do cross country while you did track? Or was it like, I'm going to just ease my way into cross country? And if so, like, what were your events?
So cross country and track, so track was like in the spring, and then cross country was like as soon as school started and stuff like that. So I did that, and then with such limited staff, like some of the coaches that were doing cross country were like also coaching track. And so they're like, hey, you should try this out and see if you like it. And, of course, with my brother's help as well, we're like, hey, man, we should do this so that we can, get the parents out there. So we can do something every Wednesday,
Get the parents? You mean get the girls out there? Stop playing with me, son. You ain't I know how it is on that track team now. Hey,
Well, the prize is for first place, all right? No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Oh Lord.
No, that's awesome, because one of my coaches actually wanted me to give cross country a shot, and I saw that they were warming up with 3 miles. I was like, oh no, I think it was like a 5 mile warm up, like 5 miles. I was like,
yeah. Our coach had us out like running August, September when it was like 120 degrees. He's like, come on guys, come on, get out there.
We got this. While he's sitting there in his little golf cart with the whistle, like.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like just waiting for us at the park. I'm like, come on, bro, what you doing?
Yeah, come on, fam. Let me get some Gatorade,
Yeah, for real. Come pick me up.
All right, so we went from early running, kind of dabbling with it a little bit in middle school, to where we got a little bit more interested in high school. Started competing in track meets, so on and so forth. Taking a whole bunch of L's. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Yeah.
Be that way sometimes, man.
Yeah. So where you started to kind of like, you know what, I can do the whole cross country thing as well. I have an interest for it at least, and kind of dabbling into that. So we kind of went over like your early life as far as fitness. And at this point, well, so in high school, you also did weights, right? You said you just started in freshman year a little bit?
Yeah, so I mean, we had like a weightlifting class, but it's just like kind of like, hey, like you're inside the weight room, like figure something out. Like, so all I knew then was like maybe curls.
Bench.
Just like,
come on, man, you were glued to that bench press. That's all everybody does is every day max out bench.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah. So that's awesome. I actually remember my my weightlifting classes that I had in high school, nobody wanted to actually follow the regime that you were given. Cause I don't know about you guys, but we were actually given a workout plan. So you did your maxes. Our coach had something to where he would plug all the maxes into the computer, and then he would spew us out like, I think it was like 4 weeks at a time or something. But like nobody ever stuck by that, because every day was chest day for everybody. Everybody wanted to max out on weight. That's hilarious. So we go from we did a little bit of running, early life. We did long distance running, and then we started kind of like dabble a little bit into weightlifting. So then comes this thing called boot camp. So did that kind of transfer over, like the strength and the conditioning that you gained from like your early life? Did that transfer over to while you were in boot camp? Like, did you feel like it definitely helped you throughout the process?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, the running part of it. I mean, I was always gear guarding because they're like, oh, you don't need a PT. And you know that. I mean,
you always stayed back.
Yeah, you're like, hey, y'all gotta stay back. You're good.
Yeah.
But yeah, they'd always have me on gear guard because I had a good foundation for running, and
right.
Upper body was okay, but the running was what killed everybody in boot camp. You know how it is. Right.
So were you were able to like max everything else out, pull-ups and crunches?
I think I got a 300 on the initial, and then I choked on the last final and got like a 298 or something like that. But
oh no, not a 298. That's
how people. It's easy when you weigh like a pound and then like a half. I weighed like 110 at that time. 120.
Were you a double rat?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, everybody would always be asking around, yo, I can have like a figure in that.
Man, let me get an extra brownie or something. I
know. I know.
A sandwich.
That's awesome. Red tag.
In your little pocket right there.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. So, recruit training, it definitely helped to transfer over. So I'm pretty sure you were glad that you kind of got into fitness, running, conditioning, and strength training prior to the Marine Corps. So what about during your actual Marine Corps career? Like how do you feel that fitness has been, like being so obsessed with fitness has benefited you throughout the time that you've been in?
So I was pretty good whenever we did like running and stuff like that, and I was okay enough, upper body wise, to like, when we're doing McMath and stuff like that, and doing other office PTs and all that. But the running and stuff, like I said, I started thinking to myself like, hey, like I need to get out of my comfort zone. I need to do something different, because you're only lying to yourself if you're good at something and you're neglecting that other part. It's kind of like if you're stuck at swimming and you're a beast at everything else. Like, hey, that's gonna be your downfall, like.
But to get in that pool.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I know a lot of people that are like that, and I mean, listen, we're all guilty of that, where you stick to your strengths. Like, I think for the longest time, I'm trying to think of what my shoulders were like the weakest point that I had. And it didn't help that I ended up like tearing both my shoulders. And so I knew at that point I had to strengthen my shoulders. And now I feel that, look at your boy, I'm fine. But now I feel that my shoulders are like kind of my strongest point. And I think that's kind of like what you were saying is, sometimes you need to actually take your weakness, and that needs to be your prime focus.
Definitely. Oh yeah.
Absolutely. So, obviously for those of you that have been in the military, you go through numerous courses, whether it's like Corporal's course, now they got Lance Corporal seminar.
Oh yeah.
Course, so on and so forth. And if you're not fit prior to, don't try to get in shape like a week or two out. It's just not going to happen.
No.
And that's definitely like being fit, like he was saying, is definitely helps, for whenever you do come into those different situations. And it's not necessarily just doing like physical training. It's just having the condition to work long hours. You know what I'm saying? That having the conditions to have like a clear mind whenever you're going through stress. So I think all those things help. And obviously Jesus was able to damn near master that process, and it's helped him out throughout different situations and scenarios. So we talked about early life. We talked about early Marine Corps career. Well, how about now where you're at? So you're currently a MESA. You're going from enlisted to officer program at Arizona State University, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So how do you feel that your prior knowledge and prior training has actually helped you to not only progress throughout the time that you're here, but actually help you to be a higher level fitness than maybe a lot of others, maybe?
Well, I think it all stemmed down from, tackling that first challenge, when my brother got me into running when I was a freshman. It opened that door, and then, it allowed me to get past the next one and the next one. And that way, whenever I got into the Marine Corps, being able to, take that with me and take that knowledge and knowing that I'm capable of having the discipline to do what it takes to, achieve the next goal, I think that's what helped me out a lot. Coming out here, OCS, I'm sure, you've gone out there to help be a sergeant instructor.
Right.
The PTs out there ain't easy. And, a lot of people always say it's more, more physically based there than it is, boot camp. And so I think like having that discipline and knowing in the back of my head, like, hey man, like you were a young freshman and you were able to get into running and having no experience before, maybe just like in middle school, and being able to still do well in that. I think that's what kind of helped me out, because like it just added on to like my confidence and my belief in myself essentially. And so I've just taken that with me. I tell myself like, hey, I can't let this be for nothing. I have to continue to push myself. I have to get uncomfortable, because that's ultimately how you grow, like pushing those limits.
Oh no, absolutely. And just obviously from personal experience as well, being over at the college and going through the different physical fitness regimes that we have, I can definitely attest that it's tough. And I don't care how much in shape you are, day in and day out. I'm not saying we got the best program out there, but you know what I'm saying? It's tough.
Yeah, it might be.
It might be, but which is kind of cool that we actually get to speak about this, because Jesus, his actual billet for last semester was our command fitness leader, where he was in charge of the actual fitness program, where creating slides to actually detail where we're going to be, when we're going to be there, what the exercise, what uniform, so on and so forth. So I think he, at least to my knowledge, I believe you got to see like a different viewpoint of the actual fitness program that we have specifically.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. It really allowed me, from going like when I first got there to experiencing the stuff, to, enabling it, and making it available for those to, to do. It really, it provided me a different perspective. And that's also kind of what like has helped me even like peeling back the onion a little bit. And like, when you're a sergeant or platoon sergeant in charge of your section, and you're developing the PT plan and stuff like that.
Right.
It gives you a whole new perspective, on to like thinking about like PT in general, rather than just, hey, run is good, or let's just do push-ups and burpees, whatever, It allows you to get creative with it and kind of think about all the different aspects of the fitness and how it's going to help the individual ultimately.
Right. No, and I did too as well, because our captain speaks about it, about as a young officer, you're going to be the one that's actually creating these slides or creating the actual developed plans for the actual fitness, or you're going to at least oversee it. Maybe you're not the one physically doing it, depending on what level you actually go at. So it's good to do something a little different, because I never did anything like that throughout my time in the Marine Corps. I already had a vision. I would still do all my checks and balances, but I never had to present it up to anybody, at a higher level. It was kind of like everyone's like, okay, he's got it. I don't need to necessarily check the safeties or anything like that. And, we usually did it at a smaller level. Here we're doing it as a battalion level with over 100 students sometimes, depending on when we have it. So it's definitely a good time to actually see it. So let's tie all this stuff in. Why are we talking about physical training so much? Why are we talking about your early life and your experience with fitness throughout your life? Well, the reason why Jesus was one of the reasons why Jesus was brought onto this platform is because he's going to offer a different perspective now that he has endeavored into entrepreneurial type areas. So he's going to talk about it a little bit, but you know, I would say maybe about 6 months to a year ago is when I first heard him start to speak about how he wanted to create his own brand. And I started to see him kind of ascend into those areas. But I think now he's kind of like putting the final touches on what it is that he wants to do. So, you know, as we said in the post, his brand is Inspirational Fitness Official. And that'll be the website we'll have linked as well when we start putting the videos out. But I want people to start to relate, because some people think that by starting a brand or starting a company, it's like impossible. And I thought the same exact way, but I wanted to give the kind of background and history of you so that people can kind of see that it's definitely a lot more possible than they thought. So how did you like first come about with Inspirational Fitness Official? And when did you actually like talk me through your planning process for how you got to where you're at now?
So this started, like how you said, like about 6 months to a year ago. When I got out here. So before I got out here, I had a buddy of mine that I was working out with, weightlifting and stuff like that. He was helping me get mass on, get stronger. But whenever I moved out here, you know, I lost contact with him. I lost, you know, being able to work out with him. So coming out here to the gym and stuff like that. Back to Phoenix, I had a lot of friends that had moved up here from Yuma, and they were, you know, wanting to have my guidance because they saw, you know, the transition as the years went by, and they're like, hey, you know, can you train me? Can you train me?
Right.
And you know, that kind of like put a thought in the back of my head. I was like, hey, like, you know, I could do this. I mean, if I did it, you know, a skinny guy who weighed like 110 in high school, like if I could get up to nearly 200 pounds now and you know, get into the scene of like hitting the gym, I can definitely teach somebody else to do it as well. So that's what kind of pushed me to do it. And the reason why I picked Inspirational Fitness is because that's what I want to do. I want to inspire people with fitness. I want people to not be intimidated by it, because I feel, and I'm pretty sure you can attest to this, I feel like there's like a stigma like in the fitness industry where, hey, if you're not competing, you're nothing, you know, or if you're not up there, you know, people don't really care. Like,
I've definitely heard that like here and there. And I think it's a little bit more like evident when it comes to like followers, you know. It's like,
definitely.
You know, and it's kind of like something I talked about before. It's like when you have a certain amount of, let's say you don't have that many followers, people look at you like, oh, well, this guy obviously doesn't have that much to talk about. Right. Well, this guy's got 38 million followers, so he obviously knows what he's talking about. So I definitely see that whole stigma.
Yeah, and I mean that's the thing right there. Like, I don't see why people do that. I mean, it's not really about the followers. It's about, you know, making that change in your life, you know, because at the end of the day, like, you're going to win regardless, because you're going to have a healthier lifestyle. You're going to live longer, you know, you're going to feel better. And that's what I want to do ultimately, is just encourage people, you know, to not be intimidated by the quote unquote meatheads in the gym or the naysayers that are like, you know, kind of, you know, pushing you down and not allowing you to, you know, feel good about even being in the gym, you know. So that's essentially what I want to do. I want to inspire people with fitness, show them my story, show them that anybody can do it, really. I mean, some small, you know, Mexican kid from Yuma can do it, you know, anybody else can too. So
in one of my podcasts, I actually was explaining like what I actually went through when I was thinking about what brand I wanted, or like what I wanted to be about. And I explained to them that I would come home for months at a time, like months upon months, and I would go, you know, get something to eat along the way or something. But then I would go into my room, I would get a notepad, and I had that notepad glued to me. And all I did was for hours upon hours, I would write down ideas, write down names for a business or a company or a brand. And then I would write like little segments about like, okay, what do I want it to be about? How am I going to go about, you know, creating this brand? What are the steps to creating this brand? You know, what are people going to think about this? You know, how do I market it? And I would do that every day for months until I found Veteran Influencers. And it literally said everything in the name that I wanted my brand to be associated with. Veteran, because I'm a veteran. And not only because I'm a veteran, but because I'm trying to appeal to the veteran community. I want to benefit the veteran community somehow. So I was like, okay, veteran, let's keep that in there. Then I was like, what's the other thing? You know, how else can I do it? And I was like, I saw like someone had a video influencer or something like that. This guy named Sean Cannell. he's got this channel called Video Influencer. So I'm like, influencer, veteran influencer. Like, okay, you know, it's got a little ring to it.
Yeah,
Let me Google it real quick to see if anybody's got the actual name on there. Huh?
Yes, I gotta Google it to make sure nobody got it already.
Yeah, you gotta you gotta type it in, see if anybody's got that already. And you know, nobody did. I was able to get the website. I was able to get all the social media veteran influencers, and we'll go over that part in a second. And I don't want to go too far on my story, but as far as like, how does that kind of relate to you about what was your process for like finding out whether you actually wanted to be an entrepreneur, and then when you did, how you went about the process of creating your name and getting started?
Okay, yeah. So at first, you know, the name thing is always the hardest, you know, because you're going through something, you're like, oh, that sounds so badass, and then you Google it, it's like somebody already has it, you know. It's just like, you know? But feeling back then, a little bit before that, I initially, you know, like I had friends coming up to me and they're like, hey, can you help me out with, you know, I'm trying to put on muscle or I'm trying to lose weight. And then I had other friends when I moved from North Carolina over here, they're like, hey man, can you help me out? Like, I see you're making great progress. Like, wow, like you've changed. So I'm like, wow, like maybe I should do this like on a broader, like, you know, for a broader audience, you know, and like not just limited to like local, because eventually I'm going to leave here, you know. I'm going to leave next year actually, and then go all over the world. And I thought to myself, like, hey, I could take this with me. I could make it into a brand, you know, that way
Right.
people recognize like, you know, what it's done for others, you know, not necessarily me, you know, the transformation that others have had, you know, and that's why, you know, I wanted to brand it. I wanted to make something out of it so that I can, you know, take it everywhere. And then as for the name, yeah, it was hard. Some of the other names that, you know, fitness-wise, there's so many names, so many gyms out there.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, I was like amazing fitness, or how about like transformational fitness? And I was like all gone already.
I'm telling you, I promise you, I went through all those names. I was like, okay. And then I tried to think of a name that related to the military, because when I want to actually open my gym, I was like, let me create my gym name, or, you know, something that has to do with a gym. I went through everything that had to do. I was like, maybe I can make this. No, taken. I was like, what's not taken?
It's bad. And then like it sucks because like you're a little demoralized. You're like, man, like what the hell am I gonna do? But I mean, hey, luckily, you know, the light bulb went off in my head, and I was like, damn, you know what? I'm trying to inspire others, and I'm doing it with fitness. You know, trying to, you know, just put it together, inspirational fitness. And you know, luckily, you know, with the official on there, I mean, nobody had it, so just added that on there to make it, you know, well, official. So,
right. You gotta let people know.
Yeah, gotta let them know. And then the slogan that I came up with, the trust the process. I mean, that's evident with anything, you know, like trust the process. You know, people get discouraged, so you know, you gotta remind them that, you know, it's gonna take time.
So that's kind of like your tagline. Is that
Yeah. So punchline, yeah.
Okay, because I'm gonna be honest. When I was trying to learn about tagline and branding and so on, it's like a whole nother beast. And I don't want to go too far into that because I don't want to take any of the light off of what we're actually talking about. But all these things, just so you guys kind of understand the struggle that myself and Jesus went through. When you start thinking about a name, it's not just finding a name that someone doesn't have. It's, does it make sense? Is it marketable?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what does that brand say to you when you say the name out loud? Like when you say veteran influencers, go. It's like, what do you think of? When you say inspirational fitness, go. What do you think of? And then it's also, you know, branding and marketing, you know, the logo. What is it? You know, now you come up with a logo, and now you're coming up with like a certain design type where people look at it and go, okay, this says inspirational fitness. All those things kind of goes into it. So, and this is why I respect entrepreneurs so much, because when you actually start to go through the process of it, you realize how much work it actually takes to not only start a brand, but to maintain it and to mentally stay focused while you're doing it. Because what are you doing right now? You're going through school, and you're an active duty Marine, and you're an entrepreneur. And I'm sure you got family and friends and, you know, all these other things. it's like you have to balance all of those things, man. So I've got nothing but respect for entrepreneurs, and you know, just like I said, learning the process, it's definitely a lot harder than people think, but it's not impossible.
I agree. Yeah, no, it's definitely not. And you mentioned like balance. I mean, I was recently, it was like about a month ago where I finally decided like, hey, because I was working at Starbucks, you know, to kind of, you know, get some extra income and do something different.
Right.
And I was like, you know what? I gotta go all in. You know, I gotta, if I'm gonna believe in myself and I'm gonna make this happen, I gotta cut out all the distractions and focus 110%, you know? And that's what I did. And like you said, it's tough. Even now where like, you know, I'm out here and just focusing with school and all this, you know, it's still tough, but like you said, it's worth it, and just gotta find that balance.
Absolutely. And, you know, I've like listened to like a lot of inspirational speakers or motivational speakers, or however you want to put it. And, you know, a lot of them say that there's always time to work on your brand, or, you know, what you want to do as an entrepreneur, but it's during most of the hours where people are asleep. If you guys ever get a chance, like, I don't know if he has more than one, but I was watching this Arnold Schwarzenegger video, and he speaks about his experience and all the things that he balanced throughout the time where he knew he wanted to be an actor. So I'll give you kind of like the gist of it. And I'm probably going to butcher this because it was a while since I've seen the video. He talked about working out sometimes 3 times a day. He was going to school full time. He was working, and then he would come home and work out. And it's just absolutely amazing, because some of us get to work out during work hours and still sore the next day. Now imagine doing a full day, getting off, you know, doing, you know, acting and working out. That's amazing. And that's where he had to learn English too, you know? So, and you know, when he first started, he had a strong Austrian accent. He still does, but his English has gotten a lot better. And I mean, imagine learning a language, learning how to actually act, being an actual famous bodybuilder, and going to school.
That's insane.
It is. And this is why your story is so incredible, because you're doing all those things right now. You know what I'm saying? You're going to school. You ain't acting, you know what I'm saying? But
yeah. No, I'm just kidding.
Like, I'm acting like an entrepreneur. That's what I'm doing. But, you know, you're going to school full time. You know, you got homework, and sometimes we have different training events that we have to do to where it actually takes your time away from doing your craft. And then you're working on your entrepreneurship at the same time, which, you know, that's absolutely amazing. And you have time to train other people. So I've been seeing a lot of your videos, you know what I'm saying? I see your videos on your social media, you know, you're getting popping now.
Hey, trying to. But, you know, it's crazy that you share that video, because whenever I'm working out in the little garage gym I've actually popped that one on like quite a few times. You know, he talks about how he was a construction worker. Yeah, he was a construction worker, and he's talking about like people want to sleep 8 hours, but he says like, hey, just sleep faster, you know? I know you remember that famous one.
That part.
Yeah. But yeah, no, like that man's drive is insane. And I think that's a great idea too, by the way, something I want to touch on. Like, if you want to get, you know, motivated and like try to like do something different, like instead of listening to some rap, like put on some motivational videos. I mean, that's a great way.
I'm gonna tell you, like, I went through a lot of motivational speakers, and a lot of ways that I actually found out who they were is because there was a lot of times where I don't like to use the word depressed. There were a lot of times where I wasn't as motivated as others, and I felt failure right around the corner. I felt like I wasn't doing enough, or I felt like I wasn't doing the right steps. And, you know, all too often we think entrepreneurship, oh man, we're going to make so much more money, you know, and I'll get this, I get to sell this. But can you kind of talk about the hardships and struggles that you went through trying to become an entrepreneur, mentally, physically, where, you know, your own people won't even support you? You know, can you talk about that a little bit so people can kind of see that, hey, being an entrepreneur ain't all that sweet. Listen, it's dope when it's happening, but sometimes the struggle is real. Can you talk about the struggle a little bit?
Yeah, no, definitely. I actually have a story that I want to share. A good friend of mine, my best friend actually, he had moved up here from Yuma, and he's one of the guys that I would continuously post on my videos, because I was trying to help him get into shape and stuff like that.
Right.
And with this whole entrepreneurial thing, like, in the business side of things, I was like, hey, like, I really need you to get in there, like, I was trying to inspire him and stuff like that. And I guess he just didn't want to do that. Long story short, like, I knew this guy for 12 years, and, I lost him as a friend because, we just butted heads, with it. And kind of, to caveat off what you said, like, it's not all fun and games. It's tough. Another story too, like, there was one point where I had like 8 people, like I was doing morning, afternoon, and evening sessions. And then they all just stopped coming, because, they got busy with work and stuff like that. And, life happened,
Oh, absolutely.
And so seeing that and like waking up in the morning and be like, damn, like what happened? Like, what did I do wrong? You start asking yourself that question. And, I'm thankful to be on this podcast because it kind of reignites that fire within you. I'm like, hey, you're gonna succeed. You're gonna, it's like a roller coaster. You're gonna go up, you're gonna go down, and then you just gotta work your way back up. If that damn roller coaster stops moving, get off and push it. Whatever
Right.
you gotta do, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's definitely not been easy. But at the end of the day, nothing worth having comes easy. So I'm glad for the failures as well.
That is a great thing right there. And, I always tell people it's when you start feeling yourself either, like I said, I don't like using the word depressed, but you kind of get the understanding. When you start feeling yourself kind of not be as motivated as before, and every motivational speaker says it is, you got to look back and remember your why. And, and I'm not trying to be like it's all speechy right now, but I'm going to be honest. Knowing my why has literally saved me from, I'm not going to say quitting, but has saved me from like stopping a lot of progress. Like with my YouTube videos in the beginning, I actually started off at, a mostly fitness channel, right? I dabbled into some gaming or whatever. And here I am doing primarily podcasting. So you never know what path you're going to actually take on. And that's why it's so important that you get started. Get started. Like even with you, had you gone out of the Marine Corps, but you had already had this fitness path, maybe instead of, doing like a brand, maybe you actually started a gym, or maybe you became a coach and you worked at another gym and you were like the head, you never know where you're going to be if all you do is plan. Just get started. I'm telling you, just get started. You will think yourself out of the game. And it's happened to me because I'm sitting there planning, and I will talk to some of my friends, like those that have started a business, and I'd be like, how do I do this? How do I do this? Okay, I'm going to do this. And I would tell them my plan. And like, dude, how is that going to work? How does that make sense? Bam, I'm discouraged right there. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to try another path. Nah, bro, that's not good because of X, Y, and Z. I'm just like I just didn't get it. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to start and I'm going to learn through trial and error. And it was bumpy, but I would have never made it to where I'm at now had I never started, And I'm glad that you started your process because you could have easily been like, you know what? I have all these things going on. Right now might not be the time to start a brand. I'm going to just focus on X, Y, and Z. But instead of doing that, you actually made the conscious decision to get started and to progress your brand. And right now, you have a website out, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And so can you tell the people a little bit about your website that you have out?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So the website is inspirationalfitnessofficial.com. Right now, there's only one shirt out there. It's the one that I'm wearing right here. But the aim for the website isn't just to like sell a shirt. I'm not out here selling shirts. I'm out here trying to inspire people, sell an idea of, inspiration. And that's why, like, on that website, like, as I progress, I want to share transformation stories of other people, and build a community, essentially, is what I want to do. So that's what's going to be on there. A little bit of that. It's going to have our mission, what I strive to do with the company. And, essentially, as the days goes on, more merchandise and stuff like that, so you can rock that and, show others, your gear.
Absolutely. And like I said, hey, you already knew I already ordered mine. I'm just waiting for it to get on deck. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, does it come with biceps too? So like if I put it on, am I going to be swole like you, or do I got to actually work for that?
No, so underneath the shirt, there's like some inflatable floaties.
Veins not included, people.
Yeah, hey, I got to put that disclaimer on. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. And, you know, I know a lot of people, they actually just do it. That was Lieutenant Sambo.
Sir, how's it going?
Absolutely. And, you know, one thing I've noticed with a lot of people is they won't just wear just anything. Like, even if it looks good, the brand has to mean something. And that's all a part of learning about branding as well that I've been learning is if I can't, like, most people will get something if they relate with the brand. Like, so that's what I'm saying. When you hear inspirational fitness official, like, what do you think of? And the people that resonate to that are more likely going to kind of drift to that brand. And just the word inspiration, it's like, who the hell's not going to drift to that, you know?
Appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, and to me, that's kind of like what it's been because, you know, I went through, you know, some injuries during the time, like, you know, we've been training together at ASU, but people like you have literally not only entrepreneur-wise, but fitness-wise, you've maintained consistency. There were times where you weren't able to PT because you were in charge of the program and you maintained your fitness. So inspiration is definitely a great adjective when it comes to describing you as a whole.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, so this is the segment where we kind of like do last words that you want to kind of give to the viewers of like, what do you want them to take out of this live session? And what do you want them to know about you? And then we'll go over social media after that as well.
Okay. So I'm gonna break it down. I want to talk a little bit like about what our future plans are. But before that, I kind of want to make it known, like how they said in the comments, just do it. I know it's like a Nike thing, but if you want to, you know, make your own brand, make your own gym, your biggest enemy is gonna be yourself. Honestly, if you get inside your head, you're gonna stay in there. You know, you just gotta sometimes just act on it. You know, and that's what I did. Like how you were talking about, like some things that most people don't know is like before, like in the initial stages of all this, like my normal days would be like 5 a.m. or even 4 to like 9 p.m. because I would, you know, go to classes, go to PT, you know, and then I'd go to work, and then I still have to make time for the gym, and then I still have to make time to, you know, do homework and plan this out. So I'd be getting like 4 hours of sleep. But I'm not saying that to toot my own horn or nothing like that. I'm just saying that, like, if you really want it, you know, make it happen. And what's the worst that can happen? You fail. Even if you do fail, at least you did it, you know. At least you can say, you know, look at yourself in the mirror and be like, hey, at least I freaking did it, you know. At least I wasn't scared to you know, stay in my own head. So if you want to do it, if you want to make your own brand, if you want to make your own gym, your own whatever it is, your own shirt or your own book, write it, whatever the case, just do it. Like seriously, just get out there and do it. And then as for like some of the announcements and stuff that I want, you know, to throw out there for the brand, we only have this shirt now, but within the next month, by August 1st, we're gonna have another design out there. And I know it's hot, so gonna be having some shorts and some sweats, and then you know, a tank top as well out there, so that you guys could.
Hey, I need that tank top.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I'll do some extra push-ups.
Exactly, yeah. So a lot of good stuff coming down, and then of course, like some stuff down the road is also I want to have like fitness ambassadors. So I'm probably gonna reach out to yourself, you know, down the road, and like people that have a story to share, you know, because everybody likes, you know, sharing their story and being heard. And I want to hear people's stories, you know, like I know there's like, if you're a 200-pound guy, you know, who's like super buff and all that, like what people may not know is that like you used to be 120 pounds, or you're some skinny person at the gym, and what people may not know is that you used to weigh 250, you know. And if you said about the why, my why is if I can change one person's life, you know, for the better, then I'm gonna do it, and it's gonna be worth it, you know. And if I can do that through a way of fitness, then heck yeah, you know, I made it. That's all I really wanted, you know. So that's why I want to get people down the road to share their stories as well. and inspire others, because you have no idea. Like, you may think like you're just some random regular, Marine or civilian, but you have a story to tell, and somebody's gonna hear it, and they may be moved by it. I mean, we're evidence of that. Like, we watch motivational videos.
Right.
When these guys put the videos together, they're not like, heck yeah, so many people are gonna be inspired by it. Like, no, they're speaking their heart out. They're sharing their story, and we're like, damn, that's badass.
Right.
But that's really all I have to say. That's it.
No, that's awesome. And like I said, like it would be a privilege and an honor to find a way to support your brand. I don't know exactly like how, but I'm all about like supporting. And that's why I tell people, if you have a brand or you're doing some type of entrepreneurial something and you don't tag me on your stuff, it makes no sense. Not only am I going to support, share, and help to market your stuff, but I'm going to probably order something, you know what I'm saying? To wear in the videos. And I'm going to have a video where I wear your shirt in. I'm all about that. You know what I'm saying? And I want to show people like I'm about what I talk about. I'm not just out here preaching. There is no one that can ever call me out and say I don't support, period. And I will never allow people to do that. This platform was started selflessly, and that's exactly how it's going to be. I'm going to continue to support veterans and people that I know, and as many people as I know. And by having people like you on the show, I know that it's going to eventually benefit and help to other people to see what you have to offer as well. So on behalf of the veteran influencers, we salute you. Thank you for continuously not quitting and to helping to inspire other people to do the same with Inspirational Fitness Official. Make sure you guys stop by his website. Please help to support another one of our veteran brothers that has been putting in a lot of work. Inspirationalfitnessofficial.com. Right now they have the shirts that he's wearing right now. And I can't wait to get mine in the mail. I already ordered it, so don't think I'm just telling you guys or asking you guys to do it. And I'm not gonna, put my money where my mouth is. I'm doing it as well. And let's continue to support each other. So, what's your social media for those that are, for the viewers that are out here?
Thank you for that. Yeah, so we have a Facebook page. It's Inspirational Fitness Official, and then an Instagram. Only difference there is inspirational_fitness_official, because you got to do the Instagram thing with the underscore. So. But yeah, we have social media out there. We gonna be posting a lot of workouts and stuff like that too, and constant updates and all that. So if you guys can follow us on there, it'd be amazing. And I appreciate you again having me out here, man. It's been a lot of fun talking about this stuff, and it's pretty cool that Marine Corps wide we could relate to some of this stuff. It's awesome.
Absolutely. So you think we can end? You mind shouting out veteran influencers? You mind hooking us up with a little shout out? For
sure. Yeah. Heck yeah. So if you guys go to veteran influencers as well, they got some pretty dope merchandise. I'm not just gonna shout out mine. This guy's got some good stuff. I just ordered a tank top as well. I was looking around last time at Target for some because I couldn't find any. And tell you what, this guy's got Target stock beat by a long shot. That logo, fire. Appreciate that, man. But yeah, definitely stop by, get some gear, stock up, rep it at the gym. Yeah, get it done.
Absolutely. Hey, I appreciate it.
For sure.
Very much grateful, and I appreciate you being a guest here on the show. And you are more than welcome to come back again. I'm going to be creating some live sessions throughout the week, and it's going to be a little bit less formal than kind of like what we're doing right now, because I wanted the world to know who hosts to who Jesus Rojas was prior to just throwing you on a live episode. But believe me, I have so many things in the works coming, and we're going to continue to progress from there. This week, last week I actually got contacted from a pretty big network, and they want me to be on their live session. So
that's what's up.
You know what I'm saying? We're moving up, and I want to make sure that while we're on there, I might throw a couple shout outs in there, get some brand names out there, But yeah, we're a little bit over time, but hey, I appreciate, like I said, thank you so much for showing up. Thank you for your support. And we're going to have some of the videos throughout the week, some clips throughout the week. And then we should be posting the full interview by the end of the week. Make sure you go to iTunes, Spotify, and Google Podcasts, because we're on there as well. help to support the veterans on there. We have different episodes, and then we'll have the full interview eventually.
Thanks again for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you for being a guest.
Sure.
All right, everybody. We're out, chat. Thank you guys for supporting. Peace.
See you guys. Thank you. Peace.